Hey there, I'm Sarita, and you're about to experience the modern approach to well being where you get to establish the best and most important relationship you will ever have, the one with yourself. I'm on a mission to help you declutter energy and reclaim your power so you can be a magnet to what you desire. If you're looking for the optimal blend of mindset and healing, you're in the right place. My goal in this podcast is to share tools, resources, and practices that will help you along your healing journey. I'm so excited to be here with you today, so welcome to Back to Here with Sarita. Let's get started. Hello, beautiful soul, and happy 2025. Just wanted to ask you, how has your last couple of weeks gone now that we are in a new year? We have transitioned out of 2024 and now we're into 2025. It's been a couple weeks so far. Some people that I've been talking to have actually stated that they want a return on their investment from the year so far because it hasn't been as good as they thought it would have been. So just interested to know how your last couple weeks have gone. For me, I'm still in the East Coast as I record this episode. If you remember from my last episode, I was stating how I came over to the East Coast to be with my childhood best friend, and I've been here this whole entire time, just kind of winging it in regards to places that I'm staying. This is the lifestyle that I've created for myself, being able to literally work from anywhere. And so I have been utilizing everything that I teach in my podcast and also on my social media around trusting in the process and manifestation and being very intentional about manifesting. So it's been really fun to see how things have come into fruition over the last couple weeks while I've been here on the East Coast, and being able to have places to stay and people opening up their homes and being able to pet sit and house at different locations and really getting to know the area a lot better than I have in the past when I visited my best friend. So absolutely love the DMV area. It's been fun to experience a winter here because since I was here for the Christmas holiday and then also the New Year's, there was not any snow, so we didn't have a white Christmas. But it was really fun that the snow actually occurred starting last week, and it's been a blanket of snow everywhere that I go. So it's been really fun to just drive around and enjoy snow because living in Southern California for the last 2 decades, the only time that I actually go see snow is to travel. So either I go up into the mountains of California, which honestly from San Diego is not that far at all, or I will go travel someplace that has snow. So having snow in my everyday during the season just isn't something that I experience in Southern California, although I did grow up in the Midwest in the United States. And so I definitely got a lot of access and experience to different seasons, including snow. So it's been fun to be here on the East Coast. So I want to jump quickly into the episode, make it super short and sweet, to be honest with you. I was thinking about sharing a lot more about myself as a podcaster, as a human being, and then also as a manifestation coach, because I like at the beginning of the year to just kind of reintroduce myself per se at the beginning of the year. I've done that the last couple of years of this podcast. If you have been around for a while, again, thank you always for your listenership. And the last couple of years, I've shared at the very beginning of the year, the first episode that drops, a lot more information about who I am as a person. Usually we'll give you some questions to ask yourself to just kind of set yourself up for success for the year to come. And I figured I wanted to do something a little bit different, but still share with you a little bit about who I am as a person, and then also as a podcaster and as a manifestation coach. However, I wanted to do it a little bit more unique way and share with you a couple things. Number one, I wanted to share with you a few episodes that you can go back and listen to that actually explain or share a lot more about who I am as a person, and then also shares my story that I've been experiencing over the last couple years and just in general. So I'll be sharing with you a handful of episodes that you can go back and listen to get to know me, Sarita, a lot better. And then also, I'll be sharing some very random tidbits of information about me as a human being. And I shared this with my audience just recently. So, this may be duplicate information, but I think it's really interesting information about me and kind of in a nutshell, some bullet points that are interesting about my personal experience, like growing up, and then also evolving myself as a human being into manifestation, coaching, and podcasting, and all the things. So, again, this episode is going to be super short and sweet. And I will have the episodes that I'm going to share with you right now in the show notes. So you can go back and there'll be links. So you can actually just like click on it and go to the episode directly. So you don't have to like scroll through whatever platform you are, using, and make sure that you can like click on it and just go and watch or listen to the episode that I am referring to. Okay, so I have my notes right here if you're watching this on YouTube, so you'll see me looking down because I can't rattle off by memory all of my episodes. But these, again, are like pertinent episodes that have been very important to me and sharing my own personal story of transformation, self-love, and healing. And then also have been kind of my higher downloaded episodes. So I think these are definitely a great way to get to know me better. And then also, as I've always said, and I think this is really very important, when people share their story, when people share their experience through something, like most of the time, like 99% of the time, we hear ourselves in that story. So we relate to that person's emotions and feelings through that story. And sometimes it motivates us, and sometimes it just allows us to empathize with that person's feelings or emotions because we ourselves have been through that. So here are the episodes. There are a total of, it looks like 7 episodes total, and I will go through them in chronological order. So the first one is my highest downloaded episode of my podcast. And I think it's because there's so many people that have related to this experience regarding emotional wellness or mental health. So episode 10 dropped, and I don't have the exact date here, but it was, I believe, May 2022 that I dropped the episode, or sorry, May 2023 that I dropped the episode talking about my mental health journey. And the title of the podcast episode is called Proactive Emotional Wellness versus Reactive. I go a lot more in depth about my experience as an insomniac. Also, what I didn't disclose in the episode, which I am now opening up a lot more about, was or has been my alcohol dependency. That was a contributing factor to my mental health and my inability to, I believe, heal myself at a faster pace than before. So, this particular episode definitely talks a lot more about my health, my physical health, and then also lack of, and then also, that's why I called the episode Proactive versus like Reactive, learning that I came from the standpoint of being somebody that was reactive to my mental awareness and my mental health and my emotional health versus being proactive about it. So again, I talk about being an insomniac, and then also like all the other things and my anxiety, and also the panic attacks that I experienced working in corporate and just the pressure that I was under. So that particular episode is very relatable. And like I said, my highest downloaded episode of the podcast so far. So that's episode 10. Episode 12 and 13, I think are probably number 2 in the highest downloaded episodes of my podcast because I share my journey of being adopted and then also my identity around being adopted. So that those particular episodes, part 1 and 2, are called Outsourcing My Worth, My Adoption Story. In those episodes, I share how for a long time, and this is something that's been an evolving thing that I've been going through and experiencing and healing myself from. And my biggest awakening in 2023 and really played out a lot more heavily in 2024 was seeking out validation and completeness in other people and other things. Being somebody that's adopted, there's this experience that I've had, and I'm sure a lot of other adoptees relate to this, is that we never feel complete because we don't, a lot of times we are not in relation with our birth parents or maybe our birth land or however that looks like. And then when we do, we are trying to connect the dots along the way. And then also because we are uprooted from our family at a young age, a lot of times we are constantly in seeking mode, looking for things to feel completeness because we've never felt necessarily all complete with ourselves because of the fact that we are adopted and taken away from family and placed in a different environment or placed in a new family and having different experiences that aren't necessarily in relation to the people that we're blood related to. So those two episodes are really, really great to get to know me as a person on a very emotional level and all the things that I've gone through as a human being, really relating all around my adoption story and then the self-love journey that has bloomed and blossomed from that. The next episode is jumping forward. And again, I don't have the exact dates or months that these were released in. But again, when you click on the show notes below and click on the link, you can go directly to the episode itself and you can see when it was released. The next episode that I wanted to share with you is episode 24. I believe this episode has been very pivotal in my own personal journey of finances and handling money, and then also my relationship to money. So, episode 24 is called My Money Healing Journey, and I go a lot deeper into the experience that I've had in relation to money. Growing up with a single parent, also somebody who was super frugal, and then going into payday loan debt, and then also living paycheck to paycheck, going through bankruptcy. There's been a lot of heartbreak that I've personally experienced within my money journey. So really opening up and sharing with you how that's impacted me emotionally and supported me in healing my relationship with money. That particular episode will be very supportive to you. And then also, of course, so you can get to know me a little bit better. The next episode that I go a lot deeper into my own self-reflections is episode 31 called Seeking Completion, My Self-Love Reflections. So this is kind of in congruency with the episode 12 and 13 about outsourcing my worth, realizing that through my experiences in dating and having relationships, that I learn a lot more about myself as a person. And that was the episode that released, I believe, in 2023. That was the biggest, most profound moment that I had, realizing that I was looking outside of myself for completeness. And so I go a lot deeper in that episode about my dating life and my love life and all the things. It's kind of a juicier episode, but you'll get to know my thought process and who I am as a person in that particular episode. So please go ahead and listen to that one. So episode 33 is called Healing from My Healing. And that particular episode, basically in a nutshell, relates to how sometimes healing can get so overwhelming that it feels like one needs to heal from the actual state of healing or being in deep healing. In reflecting on that particular episode, I know now, kind of looking back at that retrospectively, I think it was because I was going through so much post my breakup, post leaving corporate, post bankruptcy. There was just so much stuff that I was healing from and going and moving through emotionally that I felt exhausted and very done with the actual healing aspect and just needed a break. So that particular episode, I go a little bit deeper into my self-reflection at that time. And I'm hopeful that it's supportive to you, especially for those of you that may feel exhausted are kind of done or over, like just a constant evolution and things that are happening in your life and feeling like, when is this going to be done already? When am I going to be feeling okay again? When is this cycle going to end? Or when can I just catch a break already? That particular episode's really good to help support you in that. And then also, again, it's a great way to see me as a person. Okay, the next episode I think was super, super transformational. That was super fun to share. And a lot of you that have been following me on social media actually followed my journey both on Facebook and Instagram. That I returned back to my motherland back in April of last year, 2024. And I did a podcast episode on it. So, episode 38 is called Return to Motherland, My El Salvador Trip. I don't necessarily go into the emotional aspect of the trip as much as I do just kind of relay to you some things that came to the surface after I was doing a lot of video journaling while I was on my trip. That's what I love doing, is following me on social media. I love sharing with you like my day-to-day like thought process and things that I like to soak up. And so I was doing that on my trip in El Salvador, just really like, and it helps me process information really well, is going on video and talking about it, because journaling is an awesome way to do that. And I've done that for years. And now I've created this like video journal. So it's really fun to actually share within an episode, in a nutshell, kind of like what I was experiencing, what I was seeing, what are some of the themes that came up. And again, it was a very transformational trip because it was the first time that I visited my motherland, the place that I was adopted from. 41 years later, I returned back there in April of last year. And again, that's episode 38, Return to Motherland, My El Salvador Trip. Okay, the last and final episode that I think was very, very transformational, and you'll get to know me as a person a little bit better, is my journey with Kambo and Hape. And that's episode 48. That was a journey plant medicine that I did in October of this past year. It was in 2024, so last year in October. It was so deep in removing a lot of toxic things that I realized that I didn't even know that I was carrying around in my body. So that particular episode, you can get to know me a little bit better and like how I related to plant medicine, and then also like what came forth in that actual healing itself. Okay, so those are all the episodes. Super excited that I'm sharing. Of course, all the episodes that I share with you, I throw in a little bit of information about who I am and then my thought process and who I am as a person. So, as being a podcaster, that just is what happens. I share more about myself in episodes, even when I'm sharing experiences that I've had, like 3 steps to do A, B, and C. I'm constantly relating it to my own personal experience. I'm not the type of person that will ever share with you any processes or tidbits or any type of rituals or anything that will be supportive to you unless I've actually done it myself. Because I'm not the type of person that's going to just see something or read something and regurgitate that information. It's more about myself and who I am as a person. And this has to do with my astrology, my human design, and who I am, is that when I'm in my most highest authority is when I'm going through some experience, I'm processing the information, and I'm sharing it to you as my audience, my beautiful audience, as something that I've personally gone through myself, and that will help you through your particular journey as well. Okay, to conclude the episode, I'm actually going to be sharing with you some random little factoids of information that I threw together in a nutshell that you can get to know me a little bit better. So I love that I kind of shared in this episode something a little less cookie cutter, instead of me sharing a long drawn out story about who I am, Sarita, this is me, this is my whole long story like a book. I figured the best way to get to know me is to go back and actually listen to some of the episodes in which I share with you a lot deeper about my journey. So, this end part of the episode, I'm going to be sharing with you just some bullet points about who I am so you can get to know me a little bit better. And it's just a little bit more unique and a little bit more intimate way of getting to know me, Sarita. Okay, here we go. I am a Latina transracial adoptee from El Salvador. I left my home in St. Louis to move to San Diego in 2002 with only things that I could fit in my car, and I drove across country completely alone. I worked in a corporate life for almost 2 decades. While I worked during that time in corporate for those 2 decades, I also was retailing in sales and doing bartending work part time. I suffered from major anxiety, which led to 5 years of being an insomniac. I discovered meditation, mindfulness, and healthy eating when I was 30 years old, which led me down a path of actually learning how to take a little bit better care of my body. I discovered the law of attraction and manifesting in late 2018, and it literally blew my mind in realizing that I could actually create the life that I wanted. I left my corporate job in 2019 with absolutely no plan B. I broke off my relationship of 8 years just because I didn't want to be in it anymore. I realized I had a severe alcohol dependency problem that had been with me for almost 15 years. I went through some very transformational programs and ended up coaching for an amazing program called Launch Latinx for about 2 years, which led me into branching out and becoming a manifestation coach. I started my podcast in 2023, and now it's in its third year. And finally, I manifested a life that allows me to work from anywhere, travel, meet new people all at the same time, and really enjoy my life. Okay, there you go. That is the episode. Very, very short. I really appreciate you being here with me. Happy 2025. And there's a lot more to come in this podcast. I'm so excited. One of my goals for this year is to put myself out there a lot more, meaning I'm going to be on a lot more podcasts. So I'm going to be on the other side of the microphone, which is really exciting. I've already started to do that because I have an amazing story to share. And then also just getting more people with the cross pollination of different audiences is super fun. And then also too, I have some really great guests coming up this year. There's going to be a lot more guests this year, so not as many solo episodes. So that's why I wanted to take the opportunity this episode just so you could sit down intimately and you can get to know me as a person a little bit better. Always go back and listen to previous episodes. They're going to be up literally indefinitely. I love this podcast. It is my baby and it's my gift to you every other Monday that I air it. So again, beautiful soul, thank you so much for being here. Remember, if there are any episodes that really light you up or remind you of somebody, please make sure to share it with your friend, with your family member, because the more people that are impacted with these healing vibes and the importance of manifesting and intentional manifesting and creating the life that you really, really desire to live, the better humanity gets. Whatever platform you're listening to on, make sure to subscribe to the podcast there so you can know when episodes release. And I absolutely love, love, love reviews. So head over to Apple Podcasts and make sure to leave a review and let me know what has been your favorite episode. What's been so transformational? What's the thing that really lights you up in the way that I share, my message to you. Again, thank you so much for being here, and we will see you next time. As always, keep being the amazing you that you are. Take care. Bye. Hey, love. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. If you adored what you heard, it would mean the world to me if you took a moment to leave a review on the platform you are listening to this episode on. By doing this, you are helping my mission to impact other women with their healing journeys. If you aren't already following me on social media, make sure to connect with me at Sarita Wellness to get your weekly dose of inspiration. I can't wait to be with you in the next episode, but in the meantime, keep being the amazing you that you are.